Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here. Today, I'm bringing you a Kickstarter preview of TacTiki by DrawLab Entertainment. Now, this is a very charming head-to-head, two-player, memory and bluffing abstract game, which is aggressively simple to learn, but has a nice amount of complexity and a rewarding gameplay style. So, if you're interested in this game, if you're excited to learn how you can make chess or checkers significantly more interesting and fun, or you just like watching these videos specifically for the flavor text, you've come to the right place. Let's go ahead and swing into this. Now, in this preview video, I'm going to give you a very quick understanding of what this game is, how it plays, and in fact, it's simple enough that I can basically have you ready to play it in about 60 seconds. And then after that, I'm going to talk about some of the strategy, the things that I've learned while playing this game, what I really like about it, and why it might be a good fit for your collection, or what areas of it would make it a good fit for your collection. And all that being said, we're going to start with a little bit of flavor text. And before we get into here, the reason the rulebook's on my iPad and all of these look like well done but 3D printed objects here is because this is a Kickstarter preview, meaning that I am working with a Kickstarter prototype, so the final production copy of this I'm sure will be higher quality and will have some differences to it. Make sure you swing over to the Kickstarter page to take a look at everything they're offering. That being said, they included an amazing amount of flavor text for an abstract little game, and I find it absolutely lovely, so why don't we start here? The story. Somewhere in a hidden corner of the Pacific Ocean, on a small Polynesian island, there lives a tribe forgotten by time. With the passing of eons, the tribe has split into two factions. One of the clan lives day to day in a peaceful, harmonious manner. They worship Tak, the sun god. Meanwhile, on the other part of the island, the other clan has radically different culture from them. Tiki, the god of rain, rules their world, and they want to impose their beliefs on all the island's inhabitants. And now, they've started a war. The carnage angers the gods, and the war takes on a supernatural form. Tak and Tiki have come to life to settle the bloodshed for good and determine who will be the one true god of the island. In this game, you're playing as either Tak or Tiki. And your object, the thing you're trying to do, the win condition of this game, is to move your pieces down onto your opponent's side until you're able to stack a tower 5 tall. Seems pretty straightforward. Seems pretty simple, right? All you have to do is get 5 pieces down there to the end. But along the way, you'll be facing challenges and obstacles from your opponent. Now, this is sort of mid-game setup. When you first start the game, you're going to start with a single row with 8 pieces on the board and 2 set off to the side. And the interesting thing about these pieces is all of them have a number on the very back, ranging from 1 to 5. And as you're moving your pieces down the board, you're going to be bumping into or engaging in conflict with your opponent. And as numbers do, 5 is going to beat 4, which is going to beat 3, which is going to beat 2, which is going to beat 1, and 1 circling back around is going to beat 5. And you never know which stack is moving in your direction. That's where the bluffing and memory part of this game comes on. On your turn, you'll have the option of doing one of two things. Either reincarnating one of your numbered totems here, back onto a starting position on your board, one that is not already occupied by an opponent's, or you can gain 2 movement points, using those movements to move one single piece 2 times, or move 2 separate pieces 1 time each. Always forward or directly adjacent, never backwards and never diagonal. And so the rules of the game are really about as complex as that. There's 2 or 3 other things that you should be aware of. When you reach your opponent's landing zone, your totem doesn't move from that point on. Whenever you engage in a battle, you're always going to reveal the numbers and then fight starting at the top of the stack down. So that means if you have a 1 on top of a stack and a 5 attacks it, that 5 is going to lose, and the rest of your totem is going to be perfectly safe. If you happen to tie let's say I had 2 3s, if I can find one here. If I have 2 3s that encounter each other, I will land directly on top of the person that I was attacking, or the person I was moving into, and we are stuck there until I, the red player, decide to move off of the totem there below. And really, that is about the game. You're trying to push forward, strategize, position yourself well, resummon totems onto the board, and finagle your way into this region so that you can stack your totem the highest, reach 5 tall, and win. But it is also much more rewarding and complex than that. You see, the framework of this is simple enough that I can get you up and playing in about 60 seconds, but the reality of it, where you move your totems, how you position, how you bluff, when you press forward with a 3 or a 4 or a 5, are you going head to head? Have you already seen the back of one of the totems because you engaged in conflict earlier? And do you remember, was this one the 2, or was it this one that's now shifted forward? Or, I know this one's a 1, so it's going to be slightly more vulnerable, but what did he just put on top of it? That dance, that push and pull, that give and take of memory and bluffing here on a abstract board, for me, really worked very well. This is not a aggressively complex game. It is not one that is going to confound you with rules and different maneuvering opportunities and abilities. Instead, it is simple enough that you can get started on it and then enjoy the process of figuring out both how your opponent plays and also what a good strategy for yourself is. The complexity in the back of the numbers here is deep enough that the fact that you're always going to have 2 off the board at the start of the game, or the fact that you have to push up and past your opponent in order to win, that is a rich enough game experience. It has enough depth in that element that I never found myself wanting more complexity or more overhead or more rules to play with. And instead, I enjoyed working through and figuring out the puzzle that was presented before me. So, I told you that I'd get you up and running in this game. I'd give you an overview, touch a little bit on the flavor text. Let's talk a little bit about what might make this game right for you and your gaming group. If you already enjoy these abstract puzzles, then I think this one fits very well into a shelf. I see it as a family-friendly, easily accessible introduction into an abstract 2-player game. If you enjoy a little bit of memory, if you enjoy a significant degree of bluffing, and you like always approaching simple games with a new strategy or thinking on your feet as the game board shifts and adapts. So one of the things that I actually really enjoyed the most about learning TacTiki, it was the fact that I kind of understood what was happening. But as my opponent changed his strategy, I had to adapt in order to respond. Because of this blind bluffing element, because of the fact that I never quite know what is marching in my direction. In order to play this strategically, I also had to be quick to think on my feet. The information on the table wasn't perfect. I couldn't math it out in my head. I wasn't quite sure exactly where we were always positioned on the board. And in a single moment, a single totem marching up and attacking another one, I could have to readapt and reevaluate my entire strategy. Even taking some time to respawn or populate the board, marching up just at the right moment to scare my opponent away, push him back just a little bit, convince him that it's not worth the risk of moving forward until he's taken the time to maybe secure a little bit more territory. This game overall functioned very well. It is a clean, family-friendly game that, like I've said multiple times now, is easy and quick to get to the table, but has a nice degree of depth and replayability. I already have people that I want to introduce this to, and I am excited to get a full production copy into my hands so that I can show some of my friends that really do enjoy those abstract games, those perfect information chess-like games that really aren't my style. I like something that provides a little bit more of a mystery on the table, and TacTiki does that. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed this preview. Hopefully it gave you an overview of exactly what it is we are talking about here. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below, letting me know your thoughts. And make sure to swing over to the Kickstarter page, check out everything they have on their site there, and leave a quack in the comment section when you have a chance. Whatever the case though, whatever you do, remember to do the important thing, get out and play some games. I'll see you next time. Thank you.